I volunteer.
Is there such thing as spherical?
Okay. No. So yeah, symmetry. So normally when you say something is symmetrical, it means it's like the same on both sides. Like people are basically symmetrical because we look the same on the left and the right. Not completely true, but that's pretty close. Especially our guts that are a little bit misaligned. So there's normal line symmetry, and that's like reflections. So is this the same image? If you fold it over this line, is it the exact same thing? Yes. So this rectangle is symmetrical with line symmetry. Are there any other lines that I could draw that should be symmetrical around?
Yes.
Horizontal? Any others? Okay. If I draw a diagonal line, where does this reflect to? Down here, not over here. So the diagonal is not a line of symmetry for the rectangle. Just two. Two lines of symmetry for that one. So that's line symmetry. In science, did you guys learn what they call it radial symmetry in science? Okay, we're not going to call it radial. We're going to call it rotational symmetry. Okay, rotational symmetry is, this is not a perfect star, but if you turn it a little ways and it looks exactly the same, that's rotational symmetry. So let's pretend if this was a perfect star, like if I turn my head this way, it should look about the same. If I turn my head that way, it looks about the same. So how far would I have to turn this for it to look the same? How far would I have to rotate it?
72 degrees.
Okay, how'd you get 72 degrees?
360 divided by 5.
Right.
Aha, I knew it.
There's 5 points on a star. How many degrees in a full rotation? 360. So it's going 1/5 of 360. Or in other words, 360 divided by 5. 72 degrees. So the book calls 72 degrees the magnitude. I really wish they would never use that word, but that's what they call it. That's how far you turn it before it looks the same. The number of times it can be identical in a full rotation they call it the order. I'm not going to have you guys write that one down. Just don't think it's that important, but we are going to find how many degrees it turns. Okay, there's one more thing. So there's normal line symmetry, there's rotational symmetry. Put a line out here. And then the last one is called point symmetry. And point symmetry basically means it's rotational symmetry of exactly 180 degrees. So if you turn it 180, half a turn, does it look identical to what it started as? So does this rectangle have point symmetry? Yeah. If I turn it 180, does it look the same?
Whoa.
Yeah. So it has point symmetry. Does this star have point symmetry? If I turn it 180, no, it looks different. Patrick.
If it had an even number of points, though, it would.
Yeah, if it had an even number of points, it would have done.
So kind of, just because it has rotational symmetry doesn't necessarily mean
Right.
it's not point.
So it's like rotational symmetry, but it has to work exactly at 180. That one doesn't. Okay. You guys ready? Number one. Oops. I should have zoomed out. All right, now number one. So on number one, there's 3 questions. State the number of lines of symmetry. How many lines of symmetry can we draw on the airplane? 1. Just split that plane in half. Just put 1, comma. What is the magnitude? That means how many degrees, if any? How many degrees could we turn it so it looks the same?
360.
Well, what?
360.
360. So if you have to turn it all the way around, it doesn't really count. So we're just gonna say none, as in there's no rotational symmetry. Okay. The last question is, does it have point symmetry?
No.
In other words, if we turn it 180, does it look the same? And the answer is no. If it doesn't have rotational symmetry, there's no way it could have point symmetry. Because point symmetry is a type of rotational.
Why did you do that? Why'd you write one at the front?
Because that's how many lines of symmetry could be drawn in the picture. Okay, actually, let's talk about number 2. 2 is harder, and there's not really that hard, so let's
That's
look at
supposed to
it.
be like a diagram or something?
It's just supposed to be what it is. There's nothing special about it. Okay, how many lines of symmetry do you think number 2 has?
8.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, I don't think I want to draw it, but
1, 2,
the vertical, the horizontal, does the diagonal work?
Yes.
Yes.
8. It has 8. Am I right?
No.
That's not 8.
Oh.
That's 4.
12.
Okay. It's not 8.
12.
It's 4. Up and down, that's 1. The horizontal, that's 2. Both diagonals, that makes 4.
That makes a lot more sense. I counted each line.
You counted the end of it.
I counted the outlines from the inside and the inside.
And then would it be 180?
Okay, how many degrees do you have to turn it before it looks like itself again?
45.
Okay,
90.
you have to turn it 1/4 of a turn, right? What's 1/4 of 360? 90 degrees. Does it have point symmetry? In other words, if we turn it 180, does it look exactly the same?
Yes.
Yes. Here's kind of a trick. If your magnitude, 90 degrees, goes into 180, then it will have point symmetry. Okay, number 3, back to the odds. Number 3, how many lines of symmetry does it have? 0. Because it's a weird shape. Okay. What's the magnitude? Like how many degrees? None. Does not have any rotational symmetry. It's like a puzzle piece. So does it have point symmetry? Does it have point symmetry?
No.
Well, I went to Walmart this week and got some bananas. And then the guy working there told me 2 jokes. And I thought of you. Let's see if I can remember the jokes. Hold on. Yeah, one of them was that.
Oh, really?
But I don't remember how that was the punchline. I don't remember what the. Okay, one of them was, what do you call it when gorillas start a business? Or something like that. Monkey business.
That does make
Or
sense.
something like that. Yeah,
If
there
one
I am.
machine goes-
There I am
If one of the machines goes- And if one of the machines in that business goes haywire, someone put a monkey back there.
It's true.
I have a good joke for you later. Will.
Should you be writing it?
I can't remember the other one. The punchline was
I was
banana
working at the
split,
bank,
but I don't
and
remember
an old
what the.
lady told me to check
setup
the balance,
was.
so I shoved her over. So she fell.
Okay, you make your own choice. Number 5. How many lines of symmetry does it have? 1.
Yes.
Okay, how many degrees does it have any rotational symmetry? No. So I just put Okay, so does it have point symmetry?
Yes.
So if it has no rotational symmetry, it has no point symmetry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So number 4 probably
It just sounds right. Why so soon?
I think it was like, what happens when two monkeys fight over a banana? Banana split. I think that was it.
Why aren't you laughing? He laughs only at
It's
him.
funny.
I just need.
It is funny.
We're gonna make you laugh.
Obviously.
I'm gonna make Will laugh so hard that he pees himself. That's what I'm gonna do.
Why
First
laugh
New
so
Year.
hard that it's
First
on
New
your
Year.
life
Is that on your bucket list?
Yeah. Before I graduate.
Oh, Parsons.
That's right.
Carson, life skills I laughed so hard I cried once.
Has a lot.
Jade.
Yeah.
For life skills I laughed so hard I cried once.
Did I do that?
No.
Okay, number 7.
Yeah.
Okay, on number 7, how many lines of symmetry does it have?
Zero.
Okay, what if I draw a line like this?
Never mind.
Sorry.
So one?
Okay, when I fold it this way, it's not the same, right? That's not a reflection. So 0 was correct.
Trick question.
And the diagonal doesn't work either for the same reason. Fold it doesn't look the same. Okay, it is 0. Does it have any rotational symmetry? What's the magnitude? How many degrees do we turn?
No.
Oops, that didn't work. Does it have any? Whoops. Does it have any rotational symmetry?
No.
Did you turn to like 180?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. How many degrees did I turn it? 180.
So yes, it does have.
180.
How do you figure out?
Does it have point symmetry? Yeah, 180 is the definition of point symmetry.
So if it has,
Do you rap, baby?
magnitude is probably, it's probably point now.
Well, probably. If you turn it, if you rotate it upside down, does it look the exact same?
Okay.
So on my star example, I was a no, even though it had rotational symmetry. Number 9. Okay, hubcap. So, does number 9 have, shh, does number 9 have any lines of symmetry?
Definitely.
No. Okay, why does it not? Because it kind of looks like this, right? Something
Yeah,
like
they're
this.
point.
If you, shh, if you flip this thing over here, now, here, let me draw it better. How's it going? It's going kind of like that, roughly. If I rotate this over here, it just won't be the same thing. If I flip this over this way, it'll look like that, not like that.
It's a bald man with tiny hair.
Anyway, it doesn't have any, you can't draw any lines where it looks the same on both sides if you flip it. Okay, does it have rotational symmetry?
Yes.
Yes. How many degrees would you have to turn it before it looks the same?
40, 45.
Okay, how many little holes are there in the hubcap? 8. So if you turn it 1/8 of 360, it'll look the same. What's 360 divided by 8? 45.
What?
360 divided by 8 is 45. Okay, does it have point symmetry?
Yes.
Yeah. 45 plus 45 is 90, plus 45 plus 45 is 180. So yeah, eventually it will look the same. Whoops, my bad. Just put yes.
Will, why did Timmy fall out of the swing? He had no arms.
What?
Giggle. You can laugh.
But there was no punchline. There's no arms.
Yeah, there was no punchline. He had no arms.
Duh.
Duh.
That was the joke. You think it's going to be a punchline, but it's
Why did the chicken cross the road?
He smiled.
Yes,
Why?
it's
No one knows
exactly.
it got ran over.
Okay,
That's one of little.
Number 11. So, how many lines of symmetry? How many lines of symmetry does 7 or 11 have?
None.
4, 2,
None.
Okay, I got lots of different guesses. I don't know if I can draw it.
Because if you tried folding it any way, they'd be pointing the wrong direction.
no.
Yeah, it's everything. Oh, there you go. That's level.
Okay, if you draw the line there and fold it, do they look the same? No.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have any.
Glide rotation might work.
Okay. We're not doing glide reflections. Can we rotate it and it looks the same?
Yes.
90 degrees.
Yes. Just like the the square, you can turn it 90 degrees, looks the same.
Is there a name for this thing? Just random shapes?
Well, when I look at number 11, I see the word sun. S-U-N.
Oh, I see.
Let's see.
And if you look at it at different angles, it still keeps saying sun, sun, sun.
It looks like a little.
But the one, so then it says sun on.
Does it have rotation or point symmetry?
Yes.
Yes. If you flip it 180, it's still the same. Okay, 13 says, you guys are gonna like this one. Design a logo that has 2 lines of symmetry as well as rotational symmetry.
Only 50 meters?
At least 2, I guess. Has to have at least 2 lines of symmetry. So here's my logo. You guys have to draw your own. This is copyrighted.
I copyrighted one of them. No, that's not cute. I'm gonna make little lines.
I'm gonna do
I
that
have to
same
come
one,
up
but
with
I'm
a
gonna
good
put a circle.
Well, I got one.
I think actually somebody already has a star logo.
You're
Is it Adidas?
Okay.
okay. What time did that one happen at?
Is it a star and stripes though?
No.
This is in yours.
Oh, it is a
Converse.
Converse, look.
Converse.
That's what those
Yeah.
Converse were.
What if we just did a circle?
That's good.
What if we just did a circle? That would be easy.
Yeah, I don't care.
What?
Hush.
I just do the perfect star.
You said you can't copy mine.
Wait, really?
I got that joke.
It was not a joke.
It wasn't? I just drew my own star.
Yeah, think of your own.
What?
Like what?
I drew my own. I only did that with the
Wait, so
circle.
what do we draw then? Should be honest. Yeah, what do we draw?
I'm Star Lord.
Oh no.
You can draw a million things. It's gotta have 2
Can I draw a
lines.
square?
You'll never be.
Yep.
I was all.
Can I draw a circle? Does that have 2 lines of symmetry? That was a lot of lines. Can I? Wait, so I can't
Circle
draw?
has an infinite
As you
number of
get
lines
to
of symmetry.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Then you just did a cold
Next
symbol
problem.
just
Oh, you couldn't. Wow,
Okay.
I needed to work.
Alright, on 15, it's kind of like the other page. It's just it's an aerial photo. It doesn't really matter, but we're just supposed to do the same thing. How many lines, this one's a little bit tricky though. How many lines of symmetry, Trevor, can be drawn? Okay, everybody count for a little bit. I want to see if we can come up with the consensus here.
What is? Whoa.
Guys, look at 15. How many lines of symmetry can we draw?
Oh, wait.
6.
Don't say anything out loud
It's
there.
already happened.
Will, why did you say slow?
Why did I
There's
get?
too many dots. I can't focus.
Oh, yeah,
6.
Oh.
Possibly more.
read that. It's weird. It's like right there.
Oh wait, no.
3? 4? Oh, it's just a drawing?
There's 6 of the big dots.
So,
That's the top half.
First one.
It's how many big dots there are on the outside.
Okay,
Oh, wait, no.
so this is like the middle right here.
6.
1, 2, 3, we turn it before it's, what's the magnitude? How many degrees do we turn it? So from big circle to big circle, how many big circles are there?
36.
6.
60.
So 360 divided by 6,
60.
60 degrees. Does it have point symmetry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a big circle on the bottom too, right?
I just need to go down here.
Okay, 17. Okay, we gotta do a little bit of drawing here. You guys know how to draw an octagon?
No.
Regular octagon? Okay, it's a stop sign. So it starts with a hat up top. And it goes kind of like that.
Ooh.
And it goes straight down. I think I drew it too wide.
No, it's perfect.
I think you're overestimating it.
I like it the way that it is.
And then you draw it coming in, and then it's this one on the bottom.
Just the way you are.
It's a little crooked.
Mine's better.
So it's perfect.
So what you doing?
Mine looks better.
Wow.
It looks good.
Whatever you say.
It does. It has 8 sides, not one max.
Yeah.
I'm not really good at
It's supposed to be a perfect regular octagon.
Yeah.
It is regular.
Okay,
Mary, not regular.
Ooh.
So we're supposed to draw lines of symmetry. Okay, I screwed up there. So definitely down the middle, right? So here's the important question. Are the diagonals lines of symmetry? Well,
Yeah.
supposed to be,
Yeah.
yes. Mine doesn't look very good, but this is supposed to
Really?
fold over here. Hold on. Did I draw it the wrong spot? No. Or maybe I'm wrong. This folds,
Yeah, that was.
yeah, that doesn't work.
What do you think?
No, because this would fold down here. That's how you do, lines of symmetry are like reflections. This should go this way. It doesn't. I didn't use the wrong vertices, did I?
Just use the middle of
I think that would work.
I don't think the diagonals work. Because this folds this way and it doesn't look the same.
They have to fold on a straight line.
It has to go across, yes, in a straight line.
Well, then where would that one at the bottom be?
This one? Like this goes here, this goes there, that goes
No,
there.
because it cuts in half though, so if, okay, so if this line has to go straight, then that means the one at the bottom will completely,
This is hard.
it wouldn't be touching anymore.
It wasn't fun. She knows it wasn't fun.
So I think you just split the size on this one, not the vertices.
Yeah.
What if, actually, hold on. What if we split now?
Because it's like fully in
No, it doesn't work.
Did I do it wrong?
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but this. Didn't look like that. Maybe it's just because my angles are wrong now.
Just look at the answer in the book.
I don't think they did. Oh, yeah, they probably did. 17. Yeah, it's because my picture's not good enough. You're right. It is supposed to look right, but my picture's not quite perfect. So, yeah, the diagonals do work. I just wasn't neat enough. Whoopsie, not that one. So just go from one side to the opposite side. That's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
So 8. Do we have to write the number?
No, it didn't ask for it. Okay, the second question is, what's the rotational symmetry? So, yeah, we're going from here basically to here. So what's 1/8 of 360? 45, right? We did that one earlier. So it's 45 degrees on the rotation, and does it have point symmetry?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my.
Okay, 19.
Wait, 45 and yes.
A circle with one diameter. That's not bad. Nice.
Mine's better.
Yours looks like it's
What?
Yours looks like
This
Personality.
How's your precious mouth?
All right. So how many lines of symmetry will this have?
infinite.
No. The diameter is part of the picture.
2. Oh, 360.
There's so many.
So 180.
1,
Did you do diagonal?
2. If I did diagonal, does that fold over to that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wait.
This would go down here. No.
Oh wait.
Oh, wait. What?
If I drew a
It's
diagonal,
one diameter. Okay, never mind then.
this would fold down here, not up there. So no, it does not look the same. But where's the other one?
The diameter.
Just across the diameter again.
Looks like a Pokemon.
Kind of.
So you don't want to fold in pocket?
Okay, this next question fooled the other class because the lines of symmetry threw them off. How many degrees can we rotate it before it looks the same?
180.
180. Why is it not 90?
Because of the diameter.
Okay, these things, the red lines are not the picture. It's what's under the red lines that are the picture. So it is 180. Does it have point symmetry? Yes. 180 degrees is point symmetry.
That's, on 20, how would you draw a concave equilateral hexagon?
Hexagon. Let you guys think about it for a second. Okay, 21. What's it?
What, look like a parachute or something?
I think it would have Pac-Man with straight edges.
Tack?
Oh, so only one of them has to be concave? Oh.
Can't draw all concave. All right. What are we on? 19? 21. A kite. Okay, how many lines of symmetry is it gonna have?
One,
One.
because it's like, they're not, they're not.
How many degrees does it have rotational symmetry? How many degrees would we have to turn it for rotation?
360, so it's
None. No rotational symmetry. So if it doesn't have rotational symmetry, it definitely does not have point symmetry.
not Adam's apple fruit.
Why did you?
That is, you could have kept that to yourself.
Oh.
I don't think any of us really need to know
I
that.
could have gone my whole
Well,
life
how
now.
many?
Oh, poor Trevor.
You guys ever read Where the Red
Sorry
Fruit
if I
Grows?
missed from my phone.
Yes.
Read
$5.
my,
When he goes
No.
into town, he gets in a fight with the city kids.
and the kid falls on the axe. Not
Oh.
He accidentally punches one of them in the throat.
Yeah. I remember that.
That would not, that would not be a good fun place to get punched.
Dude, it hurts
You
so
can
bad.
die.
The wall whenever your helmet gets
Yeah,
knocked down.
I think the kid just went on the ground choking.
He's
You
probably
know?
fine. Get it right.
Walking up, we have the bone there.
Do you not want it over?
Every time I think of that movie, I think of that, the part where it's like they're running in circles and he literally could have just ran straight and he fell on the axe and he goes, oh! And then he's like, no!
Okay, 23. Does a figure with 90 degrees rotational symmetry also have point symmetry?
Yes.
Yes, because you can turn it 90, 90, which makes 180. So yes. Okay, we probably should talk about 24 because we didn't really talk about order. What must be true of the order? Order means like how many times you can turn it before it gets back to 360. Of the order of rotational symmetry of any figure having point symmetry.
That has 180. I don't know. 45.
Well, trying to think of a way to describe the order and point symmetry.
It can be rotated 180 degrees.
That wasn't the question.
45.
Okay, just, I give up. The order would have to be even.
Cover your nose. Actually,
Wait,
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 wait.
wait.
On 22, what would be your bar winner?
Oh no.
Okay, get it done, guys. Get it done, yes. You should be able to get this done. What'd you say, 22 what?
No, but
Wait.
Can figure out point symmetry without,
There's no shot.
Because-
I don't like it because I mean,
point symmetry is 180 degree rotational symmetry. So if it doesn't have rotational symmetry, it doesn't work.
So just if it doesn't have rotational symmetry, it doesn't.
They're asking why or why not though.